So hello there, welcome to a new video. As you can tell by the title, I want to make a chess set, right? An entire chess set, both sides, varnish and paint and whatever. I want to make a chess set. That was one of the big things I decided when I started Weightlin. In fact, a couple days into Weightlin, on Christmas Day 2024, my uncle told me that the following Christmas, this Christmas 2025, he would bring a chessboard and I, in theory, would hopefully bring the chess pieces, which is what this video is. I waited a good while. It's only the end of May right now for me. I waited a good while before starting. I didn't want to rush into them because I really want them to be good. And then I just feel like today's a good time to start. I feel like it's a good time to start, and I have a half year to do it. I don't want to rush them, but also I don't want to have too long to do them. You know what I mean? I want to kind of line it up so when I finish the queen or the king, whichever one's the last piece, then it's a couple days before or whatever, something like that. So with that being said, it is time to begin. And I'll be honest, I've been struggling to know how to do it, right? Because a part of me was like, why not I just do a normal chess piece, right? Like for the pawn, for example, why not I just do this? And I was like, I know I could do that well, right? I'm not saying it'd be perfect, but I know I could do that. Do I try and go for something bigger? And the problem with doing something bigger is, it's definitely not going to turn out as well. So I've seen some medieval pieces, for example, which look good. And I really like them, and I was struggling to decide whether to do those or to do the typical piece. I didn't know which one to do. I really like the idea of a medieval piece or a medieval theme, but my worry was that it wouldn't look like a chess set. It would just look like some figures. And sure, you could use them as a chess set. Maybe people would know, but I feel like most people would look at it and be like, "What the hell is that?" And then you go, "Oh, it's a chess set," and they go, "Oh, fair enough." I want to make my chess set that looks like a chess set. Just straight away you go, oh, that's a chess set. But the problem is I don't want to do it typical. So I have had a think, and I think I have an idea. Now, I've not got any photos of anyone who's done something like this, or at least that I've seen. So this could go really wrong. But my idea is the basic shape of each design will start as the typical design, right? So the pawn starts with this shape. And what I'm thinking is, instead of going full-blown knight, for example, make it look try and make it look like a pawn that is a knight, right? Which is I don't know if that's a rubbish idea. I don't know if that's an optimistic idea. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know, but my inkling is like, I feel like that could be good. This video is going to be me completing my pawns. I know that. I got to do like 16 of them. Whether it or not it ends up being this design, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, this video might be me trying that design, failing, and then trying a new design, or it might be me doing that design and then doing it 18 times and then that's it. I don't know how this is going to go. Each video will be each own piece. Today is pawns, and I've done the basic design for the pawns. I'm leaning towards this guy. So look, like I say, pawn shape, shield coming out of it, and then a little sword. That might be impossible. Who knows? This is how I'm starting. I'm going to try my first design of the pawns now, and we will see how I get on. Wish me luck. My first piece is essentially done. Gonna whittle it now, see how it gets on. Yeah, happy with how it looks like that. I'm happy with how it looks like that. So I've now cut out the front view of it, and I'll be honest, I'm actually starting to think this might turn out pretty good. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do this 18 times, whatever it is, 16 times. So we'll see how I get on. But the actual front view, I think that actually looks good. I think you can tell it's a pawn. And he's holding a little shield, got a little sword. Obviously, I've not done the depth to it yet. But from the front, I think if that's how it looks when it's done, I'll be very happy. I've added the side view. Obviously, there's a little bit of inconsistency, but I think once it's, it kind of meters itself somewhere. It kind of get there. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what it's like. I'm going to do it now, see how I get on. Hopefully it looks somewhat okay. Look, it might not be perfect. This might not be the version I have in my final piece, but it's a starting point. So let's see how that starting point goes. So, back with another update. I have whittled the first attempt. It's probably a far way off what it's going to become. But as first attempts go, I'm pretty happy with him, honestly. He's looking okay. I've made a couple changes to my original plan, and I'm not sure if they're going to be changes that I'm going to stick with, but it's just kind of improvised changes. The first one is that I didn't give him his sword yet. I do kind of want to do an attempt with a sword, but it just kind of happened naturally, if I'm honest. Like, I was kind of doing it, and the sword was a bit awkward, because the the shield kind of goes in front, whereas the sword kind of had to be on the side, and it kind of extends past the width it started with, kind of. I might try and tweak it and make it so I can fit the sword on, but maybe I'll do the sword more upright as opposed to down, maybe. But the actual look of him, I'm happy with the first attempt. Like, he's holding his little shield. You know, I think you can tell it's a pawn, especially if you look at it like that. You see, that's kind of what I was hoping for. That's why I did it like that. So, like, from the back, it looks like a pawn. Obviously, the things I would change is this top bit. I don't know what you'd call it, like the neck, I guess, the collar. That's way too thick. I need to make that shorter or smaller on the other attempts. The bottom, I kind of did it as the square, and the last thing I did was make it circle in the bottom. So I would start with that next time, because I feel like that made the ledges a bit too close together, whereas I would like the second ledge or the upper ledge to be a bit more of an incline. But the overall vibe, I'm liking it. Like, I didn't do the mask either, because I was kind of looking at it, I was like, I kind of like it without the mask now. I kind of like it without the face. You know, maybe I'll do an attempt with the face, but the actual vibe of this, obviously, I also haven't sanded it, like, which I will do, and I will varnish it when I do the proper ones. This was just kind of a practice attempt. But as practice attempts go, I'm pretty happy with this. My next plan is to do another one. Obviously, I mean, you have to do like 18, right? But to do another one, try and kind of just perfect it a bit more, see if there's anything I can tweak. Maybe try and get the sword on. I do like the idea of him holding a sword and a shield. But I'll see what I can do. But attempt one, there we go. I will be back probably after another couple attempts. I'm not going to film every attempt. So I'll probably do another couple attempts and then update you on how I got on. But yeah, first chess piece is here. So I start the next line of pawns by doing the bottom first for each of them. And then, you know, I'll do the circle or the head for each of them after that, followed by the shield. I don't know, I just feel like that kind of gets me in the groove and gets me a bit more efficient. I will say, the size and the shape of the bottom is not going to be perfect on each one. Each one's going to be very different. Same with the head shape. You know, some heads I've done will be a bit more round, some maybe a little bigger. For the most part, it's going to be the same, but like I've already realized there's no way I'm able to do it identical. Even like the shield size has been different on each of them. So yeah, I just feel like that's something I've just got to accept. There's no way I'm going to do a perfect identical one for every single pawn. A lot of them are probably going to be differences, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're going to have differences. It's kind of like, you know, it shows that it's not this perfect manufactured thing. I've made them. And as long as you can tell each of them are pawns, you know, that's fine by me. But yeah, this is the 9th one. There's an 8th one here somewhere as well. I've also numbered the bottom of each one, so I can kind of see the progress or see, you know, where I went wrong with some techniques and whatnot. My plan is really just to knuckle down, do as many as possible. So obviously I need to do 16. I might finish 16. I've given myself until the end of August to do that. Say if I get to the end of July and I've somehow done 16, I'll then spend an extra month doing them. So the first one I did, or the 4th one even, might not end up being part of the final set. But for example, say if I get to August and I've only just finished 16, I mean, guess what? All 16 will be used. So we'll see. I might end up doing like way too many. I might end up doing only 16. It depends how quick I get through them. But yeah, so yeah, just doing a little update. I've numbered each of them to see how I get on, and yeah, time to do a bit more. Carving is complete. So I've carved them all. I've taken my time with them. I can't remember what my plan was last time you saw me, but let's just say this: they are not proportionate / identical. I don't think there's any two that are going to be identical. But I actually don't mind that. Like, it sounds like an excuse. It sounds more like a last minute thing. I accepted very early on they were all going to be a bit different. You know, the head shapes are slightly different. You know, so, like, I don't know. I accepted very early on that it was never going to be perfect. You know, it's my first chess set. I'm sure if I'm really unhappy, I can make some more. But as of right now, I'm content. I've done 2 different shapes on the shield to be the 2 different teams, I guess. There's not really any reason besides, like, for why it's the T and the Y. It's not really meant to be T and Y. I was just trying to do like an easy shape, you know, 2 easy shapes. But yeah, the overall though, I'm very happy. Like, I didn't do the mask / the eyes because I figured I don't want to take it too far away from what it's meant to be so that it kind of becomes unrecognizable. I'm sure the knight kind of mask could have looked really cool. And if I do more, maybe I'll do that. But I was worried that if I did that, you know, it started to maybe not look like a pawn. Whereas right now, especially from behind as well, like that's a pawn. Do you know what I mean? And then look, he's holding a shield. And look, he's a pawn. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy with them. I've ordered 2 wood stains, white ash and dark oak. And yeah, my next step is to stain them, and then also I've got some fabric that I'm gonna put on the bottom to give it a little bit of a base on the underneath. So yeah, I will be back when they are done. I'll be back when they're done. Here we go. I'm currently painting my chess pieces. I'm starting with the dark colours, and I'll be honest, it's very dark. Bit darker than I pictured. I did a test paint, and it turned out like this, and I was kind of thinking, you know, that's perfect. You can kind of still tell it's wood and whatnot, but right now, it's not awful, and I'll probably give it a second coat on the lighter bits, but right now I'm a bit worried that it's gonna turn out really dark as if I've just painted it black. Even if I have, and even if it does look like that, it's not ruined. I'm not worried, but yeah, right now I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, but it might dry and be a lot lighter than it is right now. I'm not sure, but so far I'm intrigued to see how we get on. So I finished my chess pieces. They are done. I've varnished them. The white one / light one is just kind of the same. It doesn't look too much different. There's a cleaner look to it, I guess. And then the black ones actually turned out pretty decently. Yeah, like I said, they're not perfect. They're not like identical, but they're close enough. And with the different colors and the different front, I mean, it did kind of turn out okay. Like they're definitely far from perfect, and like, you know, I maybe could have sanded them a bit better. I really did try and sand them a lot. I spent a good time sanding each one, but yeah, like I could see there's definitely ways I could improve, and who knows, maybe if I get through the other pieces with a lot of time left, maybe I'll tweak a couple or I'll redo a couple. But say if I didn't have any time left afterwards and I had to stick with these, I'm happy with them. Like, I'm sure it's not gonna be my last chess pieces I whittle, and as a first attempt, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Yeah, like, no, it's just a very, very solid outcome. I'm gonna do bishops next. I know what I'm gonna do with bishops. I know what I'm gonna do with the rooks. The horses, I really don't know about the knights. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with those. So if you have any ideas of what I could do that could tweak it but still make it look like a horse and like not tweak it too much, give me some ideas. But yeah, as the overall thing, I'm very happy. Yeah, pawns are done. On to the bishops. I will be back very soon. Probably, hopefully, it will be a lot easier to do the next video because I'm only doing one thing now. The pawns that do like 16 was the other ones only have to do 4, and some of them only have to do 2 of each one. So we're halfway officially, even though I've only done one piece. We're halfway. So yeah, here we go. Chess set is on its way. Thank you for watching. I've been James. I'll see you when I'm back with my bishops.